Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm just going to do the daily energy for today. I hope everyone is doing well, and thank you for being here. So I'm just going to shuffle a couple times and get on with it. Okay. First card, child. Mice. Rider. Stork. And magnifying glass. This card makes me think that in this reading, the relationship had problems from the very beginning. And I feel like in addition to those problems, a child came into the picture. Take it how it resonates. I feel like there's two separate groups. There's one that had children and one that didn't. But both situations from the very beginning had problems. And because there were problems, it forced movement forward in the relationship in a negative way. I also feel like for those that have children, there may have been issues, problems with the birth. So there could be complications with labor and delivery, labor or delivery, something developmentally wrong with the child, but complications nonetheless. I feel like masculine energy is the one that's had an issue from the very beginning of this relationship. Problems with the relationship, problems with the child. But I mean, this card here is, regardless of the problems, the child was born. Or the relationship progressed. This card makes me feel like we moved forward without a real evaluation of the situation. It's like rushing in. What is it saying? Oh, fools rush in. I feel like that's the energy. It's like we rushed into something without really knowing what it was going to be about, which produced problems with happiness also could have produced a child. But I feel like now masculine energy is really examining the situation. It's like hindsight is 2020. That's the energy I'm getting. It's like now that I'm looking back on this situation, I can see everything that's wrong with it. So this makes me feel like this is a karmic situation in which we leaped before we looked, and now we are paying the price for doing so. I feel like in this relationship, for those that have children, the children are always going to be an issue of contention. So there's always going to be problems that need to be dealt with when it comes to the child. Also, for those that don't have children, because this relationship started without a real evaluation, there's always going to be problems with happiness moving forward. There's always going to be some issue that needs to be dealt with regarding happiness. I just heard there's going to be a lot of conversations that start out like, well, I'm not happy about this. I didn't like what you did here. I didn't like when you said this. You get the point. I feel like this masculine energy has always had problems sticking up for himself. Even as a child, he's just kind of let situations ride to avoid conflict. And I just had a vision of him sitting in his bedroom, like replaying these situations where he feels like he should have stood up for himself, but he didn't. Which is also why he's got himself in this mess, because instead of standing up for himself or going against like negative internal feelings that he was having, he just went along with it and thought about it afterwards. I think that annoys him about himself. Doesn't like that part of his character, but it's like he's reached a point where he just hasn't been able to get it under control. But I feel like Seven of Pentacles in reverse, Magician. I feel like the days of, just going along to get along and waiting to see what happens is over. Lovers in reverse, Seven of Pentacles. I feel like this masculine energy has realized that his situation is not going to change, is not positive, and does not contain love. King of Wands and the Lovers, and he is going to get into a relationship where there is actually love involved. For those that have children, I feel like this child is a huge wake-up call. It's like, it's one thing to have someone say something nasty to you and you just let it ride. That's something minor. But when you get into a relationship that is completely unhappy, or that produces a child without saying something, even though you've wanted to, that's a whole other ballgame. And I think that has been a wake-up call. That some situations that you let ride have incredible consequences that can alter your life forever, not just your life, but others' lives as well. Three of Cups and the Chariot in reverse. Yeah, this relationship is not going to be continuing forward. So again, I feel like it's a karmic relationship. It's just, I feel like Divine Masculine is looking at how he can move forward and deal with all the issues that have arrived. Because I feel like this relationship is a relationship that has some time behind it. This is not like, oh, we went out on one date. This is like years of connection. So there's children, there's houses, there's cars, there's assets, there's lives that have been intertwined. So I feel like he's trying to figure out how he can get out of the situation without too much damage. Five of Swords. The Fool. Nine of Pentacles. Hierophant. I'm sorry. High Priestess. Six of Swords. Two of Cups. Okay. So, sorry, I was just like fooling around with my camera. This card is like, for those that don't have children, it's like masculine energy is like, I'm saying like a lot. Anyways, masculine energy is saying to himself, I'm fighting for my happiness. It's like I'm no longer settling for less than I deserve. For those that have children, that could also be true, but it could also include fighting for the children's sake. I've been hearing the word custody a lot lately, so that could be on Divine Masculine's mind, is that he's going to fight for custody of the children. This card makes me feel like the problems, it's like you thought there was problems before, now there's really going to be problems. I feel like when Divine Masculine's partner finds out that he's leaving, the shit's gonna hit the fan. But I feel like Divine Masculine in this reading is not going to back down. It's like he knows what he's fighting for, and he's all in. There's no amount of sweet talk that can get him to change his mind. He is moving on. This card makes me feel like there's something that's happened which has made him see that he can do better elsewhere. I feel like there's he may have met someone or had some sort of experience, and it was like a light bulb experience that made him see that he doesn't need to stay where he is and he's better off elsewhere. This card makes me feel like it was like out on his travels, something happened, and it was like the light bulb switched on, and he's like, wait a second, I don't need to stay in this misery. The High Priestess. Okay, I feel like a couple of things with this. One, Divine Masculine in this reading started to tune in to his intuition. This card makes me feel like Divine Masculine has always been intuitive, had some sort of spiritual gifting from birth. But I feel like he's just now recognizing it. And this card makes me feel like, and now he's listening to it. Because I feel like he did an experiment where he tested it. And now he knows it's accurate. So he's listening to it, and I feel like his intuition is like telling him that the situation he's in is not right. And that he needs to fight for his happiness, his children's happiness. I feel like this, okay, for the ones that have had children, I feel like the birth of this child did something to Divine Masculine in this reading. It's like the minute the child was born, something happened inside of him. He switched. And it's like his life took a different meaning. And this is the conclusion, is that I need to start over, my life over, because I can't keep living like this, for himself and for the child. And the same applies for those that don't have children. It's like something in Divine Masculine's life flipped the switch for him. Some incident, some moment made him change. And his intuition started to be a more prominent factor in his life. And he just woke up and realized, I can't keep doing this because my life is just rife with problems, and it's because I'm not listening to my intuition. Mind you, this wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to wake up and listen to my intuition today. No. He tested it. He found it to be true. He's had successful results. Now he's applying it. All that to say that he is now looking at his life, especially his relationships. So basically it's like, I'm not living my life this way any longer for several different reasons. Myself, my child, I can't stand these problems any longer. So it's like, I know I can be successful, especially if I listen to my intuition. So that's what I'm going to do moving forward. So he's taken that whole evaluation of his life, and he's now applying it to his relationships. So his decision is, I'm not going to have any relationships in my life that are going to be detrimental to my mental and emotional and spiritual health. So that is why he is letting this relationship that he's currently in go. And like I mentioned before, Divine Masculine in this reading is a very spiritual being, has been since birth. But I feel like, the issues of life have gotten in the way. But he's getting back to that now. And I feel like he's more confident walking forward with his spiritual knowledge, with spiritual backing. And I feel like he's taking that now into his next relationship. So I feel like his previous relationship had I feel like nothing spiritual about it. There was no I just heard spiritual cohesiveness. There was no spiritual talk. There was nothing like that. And I feel like that's the difference moving forward for him. Is like he wants to be in a relationship that enhances not just his mental and physical health, but also his spiritual health. I feel like he wants his next partner, to grow him spiritually. And he is convinced that a new start is definitely the way to go. He's definitely moving on. And I also feel like these cards are that he already has a relationship in mind to move towards. he's just, I feel like right now he's just examining it and trying to figure out if it could be successful. I also feel like I think this came up on a different reading, that for the ones that have children, he's afraid that a child is going to wreck this new beginning. But these cards make me feel like he's going to go forward with it anyway. He's just going to take the chance. Again, because I feel like God's Spirit has told him what he should be doing. And that's why he's moving forward so confidently, because his God's Spirit, his intuition has told him which way to go. But I feel like he hasn't, there's no, to me, like, rushing action at this time. It's like he knows intuitively that he needs to have a new beginning, but I feel like there's a bit of fear here still. Fear, but it's not debilitating. It's just he's working through it and he's ready to move. But he's just watching this relationship right now, waiting for the right chance, the right moment. I feel like this relationship is going to, like, it's going to be successful. Most definitely. As long as Divine Masculine moves forward, the relationship is going to be successful. And he knows this. He knows it on a spiritual level. It's just, he's hesitating. So I'm going to do an extended reading and see where else this goes. If you're interested, you can purchase the reading on Vimeo. If not, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. See ya.